One of the most important strategies to utilize in a MOBA is lane management. If you are able to manage the outside lane so that they are always moving in your direction against the enemy team, you actually have a very strong advantage for a number of reasons. Now, as long as you're able to do that, you can group mid, you can do a whole bunch of things, and that is really, really important. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Paragon Guide. I am Sylphin. In this video, we are taking a look at managing lanes and what to do when you have your lanes pushed against you, and why do we do that and how to do that. So the very first thing we can talk about here in the who, what, where, when, and why is who. Who can split push and who can set lanes. Basically, anybody that deals damage, any hero can set lanes and push lanes, but certain people do it better. Those with a lot of wave clear can certainly obviously set lanes much better, and those heroes that have escapes is much easier. They can obviously do a really great job of doing stuff, and of course escaping, and that is very safe as well, because they can go to a lane, set it, and do it safely, so that enemy heroes don't really have a chance to kill you when you do that. So anybody can do it, but those that have a better wave clear have a much easier time, and those with escapes are very good. Now also, you have to think that there is farm involved. There is farm involved in clearing lanes, because you're killing minions and other things like that. So your ADC is actually your carry is another very good candidate for pushing and setting lanes. They should be the ones to be setting and pushing lanes that are nice and pushed up against your towers. So usually they are the ones to rotate to a certain direction and kind of deal with and deal with lanes. They should be the ones getting that farm, setting lanes and pushing lanes for sure. But any hero really with preferably good wave clear, and not your support or your tank, should be going and setting and pushing lanes. So now that we've talked about who can set and push lanes, we've got to talk about what exactly it is. So there's this minion wave right here. Setting lanes is when you are setting your lanes up to better push the enemy lane and group up and make a strong minion wave. And now you see that I just destroyed the enemy ranged minions, but I'm not attacking those melee minions. Why am I not doing that? Just because these ranged minions are the ones that deal a majority of the damage. These melee minions actually don't do very much damage. But now, see, I'm not attacking them. I'm letting my own minions, kill them, so that this next wave of mine can push them nicely. I will, though, grab these last hits. Of course, you want to do that just because you want to spend that time to let your own wave build up. Now that it is set, I'm going to rotate mid here and see what I can do to help out my team. As you can see, there's a bit of a not that great of a situation here. So what I'm going to do is very nicely ultimate here. Boom, baby. This is one dead Bellica kaboomy. And there we go. Very nicely done. And that is exactly why you want to do that, because now that wave is set, it's going to continue to push even if I'm not there. And that is very key, because now we don't have to worry about that lane all that much. And whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Now what we can do is go and rotate other to other lanes, be a part of a team fight like you just saw that I was, and just be a pretty good beast. So that's exactly what you want to do there. I set that lane, so now that it's Now that it's pushing, we can very easily, very easily, you know, go and rotate elsewhere. That's exactly what you want to do. Now, the other thing that we are talking about is pushing lanes. Now, that's just where you kill the ranged minions, and then you know, use your abilities, use your ultimates to, or hopefully not your ultimate, to push a lane where you actually, you know, try to clear it as fast as possible. And that, we're going to talk about when you want to do that, but really pushing and setting, not very much difference. Pushing is just you're trying to kill the minion wave as much as possible. That's really the only difference. Pretty logical. Makes a lot of sense. So that's pretty much it. Now, I would be pushing that lane if the enemy, well, we'll talk about why and when you want to do that later, but really pushing is when you just destroy the wave as fast as possible, and then you know, setting is only killing those ranged minions and then getting the last hits on your on those minions that your friendly minions take care of. Now, where, you know, who, what, where do you do this? Basically, here in the off lanes. On the off lanes, the side lanes, that's really where you want to push or set. Now, you preferably want to set your waves more often. So there, you can see that I set them, and that wave should be fine now. I don't really have to worry about it. Where do you want to do it? In the off lanes, just because what you want to do there is free yourself up, like I just did right now, to go in to the other lanes and try to push or push with your friendly team. So as you can see, I made myself available here. I pushed that left lane, I set it, and now it's free to do its thing. So really only do that in the outside lanes. The mid lane, you typically want to push as much as possible, but you know, that's kind of up to you, really. The mid lane, obviously, you can set if you really like to, but the mid lane, really, that's where you want to be pushing as much as possible, trying to force an advantage over the enemy team. So really, setting and pushing lanes is really only for the off lanes. Now, the next thing we can talk about is when do you set your lanes? When do you push lanes? Now, when you set lanes, you definitely want to do that whenever possible. Whenever possible, you are setting your lanes. It's only when you really push lanes that requires a certain situation. When you push lanes, that is when you have a numbers advantage over the enemy team. You know that, you know, you have 5 and they have 4. You have 4 and they have 2. That's when you split push, and that's split because your team is split and you are pushing lanes. That is when you push lanes. When you set lanes, that's pretty much ever. Like right now, I'm just going to choose to push this up just a bit here. I'm killing these ranged minions, and arguably I maybe shouldn't. I maybe shouldn't, simply because that is, you know, that's not necessarily the best. So I'm gonna let this wave set. I only killed that ranged minion, and I'm gonna let it, although the Countess here is there, and she's gonna be pushing that just to kind of counteract my own setting that I just did. So I'm gonna get this really quickly. I think this Countess knows she can't really do too much to me. So yeah, there you go. She retreated. There she is. So now I'm going to set this lane again because she kind of undid my set. So I'm going to actually do this. And then I'm going to damage these melee minions just to give my melee minions a bit of an advantage. That is all the setting I'm going to do. Just a little bit of damage on these melee minions just to make sure that I actually, you know, that they actually push. Now that I'm here, I'm going to have to make a decision. Do I go in to help my team there, or do I split push? They are all out of position, so this is actually an opportunity for me to push. This is an opportunity for me to go crazy here and push this lane like crazy. So I'm gonna hope that my team wins this team fight here, and it looks like they kind of did. There we go. So here is an opportunity. This is when we can maybe get this damage here. Hopefully my team can do that. Let's see here. Can they indeed do this? I hope that this pays off here. I'm doing a risk, but this is very, very sound. MOBA strategy. Like I don't think that split pushing is done as much as it really should be. Just because because now I get an inhibitor for this split pushing, and that is really, really, really valuable. So here's a perfect example of me pushing a wave when otherwise you maybe you wouldn't have. So look at this. I'm going to get an inhibitor for this push here, and a steal that is going to die. He's going to try to get this inhibitor, but nope, he's not. I'm going to bait him into here for my ultimate. Oh baby, that's going to hurt, Rampage. Boom. There we go. But unfortunately, nope. I'm going to try to retreat here, and I'm going to get out. Where is this rock here? Oh boy, there's the rock. Oh, I turned around right as the rock was there. But you know what? I got a freaking inhibitor. That is definitely worth it. Perfect example of pushing, utilizing my my team's. I had faith in them. And that was it ended up worthwhile. Now we can talk about why. Why do we split push? Why do we set lanes? Setting lanes obviously gets the minion wave going in the right direction, but setting lanes gets it moving in the right direction in a way that makes the minion wave big. It makes it huge. You get a lot of range minions. As you can see, we have 2 siege minions and 2 range minions right now. That makes that wave really, really powerful when it actually reaches the tower. So just like this, we have numbers advantage here, just a little bit. And I'm going to maybe continue to push this lane here because the Muriel is going to ult. She did ult there to go with my team. Now, unfortunately, my team isn't pushing. So this split push here, now I am pushing this lane, even though this Countess here is going to have a nice job doing stuff. So I'm actually going to use my ultimate here on the... Oh, there we go. Okay. I wanted to use my ultimate there to maybe burst down the Countess, but she did actually a very smart job there and backed up. So why do we split? Why do we set a lane? To make it very powerful by the time it gets to the enemy. Oh, hello there, Murdoch. Hello. Oh, ouchies. Whee! That hurt a lot. And I'm probably dead, so whee! There we go. Oh, but the dumb Murdoch ultimate that has no skill to it at all. I'm just kidding. But, so, there you go. Bad decision on my part to jungle there in the jungle with all the enemies alive. Really, really dumb. So, why you want to set the lane to make sure that it's really powerful when it does get to an inhibitor or a tower, so that if they don't deal with it, the enemy team, that minion wave itself will be able to kill that tower by itself. Pushing enables you to quickly get to that tower because you have a numbers advantage, or the whole enemy team is terribly out of position, so that you yourself can deal that damage to that tower and really take it down quick. That is why you set versus push, and you know what? It's a very important thing to do in this meta. Team fighting is very, very lucrative. You get a lot of CXP for it, and it's unfortunately, I'm going to say unfortunately, very meta because I think that there's not enough emphasis on the MOBA aspects of Paragon at the moment. So you know what? It's really important that we know this, so that later on, hopefully when balancing gets done, and we are able and we're able to split push more effectively, and we're incentivized to do so, that we know how to do that properly. So here is a perfect example of where I'm going to push this lane as much as possible. I'm going to let all the minions there go into this so that I can very much kill this lane as fast as humanly possible, because we have numbers advantage. We have 3 of the enemy team down right now, and the Sparrow and I are going to push this lane, try to kill it as fast as possible, simply so that we, here in this late game that deal a lot of damage to these towers, can take them down super fast. So look at that, we can simply really take out these towers, push this lane very quick, and do this. So not much this ooh, goodness. Okay. Murdoch, question mark? What? Oh, and I'm just dead, aren't I? Yep. There we go. So unfortunately that Murdoch came out of nowhere, and I'm just terrible. Yeah, so pretty failed attempt there. I'm pretty bad. But a perfect example of an opportunity to push that went pretty poorly. And unfortunately, we lose there. Really bad, really bad play on my part. But hey, there's pretty good showcases in there of split pushing and setting and why we do it. It's really important. In this current team fight meta, where it is so lucrative to do that, so you can easily push towers, and it comes down to one team fight, unfortunately, which I don't think it's not an enjoyable meta. Spend 48 minutes, you know, it's anyways, we're not going to talk about that, but it is really important. Setting lanes, set the lane, and then you can return to your team fight position with the rest of your team to win that way. It's really important. Lane management, if you can do that, then you will always be on the enemy team's side with minions there to help you to take down these towers and these inhibitors. Very important. Who can do it, about why you should do it, when you should do it, where you should do it, etc. Hopefully you guys found that useful. And you know what? Hopefully I find later on, I hope that split pushing is more rewarded, because this teamfight meta, there needs to be a little more focus on the MOBA. The viability of split pushing should exist a little bit more than what it is, in my personal opinion, because it's just more enjoyable. What can I say? There you guys go. There's my guide on setting lanes and pushing lanes. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community. Of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.